Hello my dears, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and I'm here with your full moon guidance reading during full moon in Gemini that is speaking on December 15th. So it's also the day when Mercury retrograde is finally over. Mercury turns direct. We're still going to experience a shadow period of the retrograde for another couple of weeks. Same way as we will still be experiencing the full moon energy for a few more days. So if you're watching this a little bit later and thinking, oh gosh, I missed such an opportunity, no you didn't, and the guidance is relevant for you whenever you catch this video. And of course, this is a free reading, as so many more that I do on this channel. So in order to support what I'm doing and for me to continue to do the readings, please support me by liking the video, hitting that subscribe button, and of course leaving your comments and sharing this with others. So what we'll do is I'll get a little bit of a vibe of a general message for the collective at first, and then we'll go into guidance for each zodiac sign. And we'll start with Sagittarius because we are in Sagittarius season. Happy birthday, Sagittarius. And then we'll go around, we'll go to Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and so on and so forth. Don't worry, we'll get to every single sign, and there will definitely be timestamps for the signs so that you don't have to figure out how do you scroll, how do you move to your specific sign. I do this for sun, moon, and rising, so please check out messages for each of your placements so that you can get a fuller message, and hopefully it gets you a better guidance that's more tailored towards your personal situation. So just a quick reminder, of course, full moons are all about cleansing and also getting illumination on certain aspects of our lives that we don't necessarily confront on the regular basis, or we don't necessarily accept, or we don't necessarily notice. The Gemini is the sign of this full moon and definitely is going to play its role in terms of communication, not to mention the end of the Mercury retrograde. So you may as well see certain patterns in communication that maybe you haven't noticed before, or you thought that, it's just like what life brings to me, like this is the kind of people I attract, right? But then you'll see, oh, there's something specific that I do or don't do that actually prevents me from building healthy communication with people, right? I was in a session today with someone where the big breakthrough was about speaking out what works for you, what doesn't work for you in relationship. Can be any kind of relationship, right? And it's gold. Like for me personally, it's a big revelation for myself that I'm taking in as part of this full moon process, right? And it takes a certain amount of courage, and I'm sure that we'll see nuances of that for different signs as we do proceed with the reading. But yeah, it can have so many different shades of meaning, right? So it doesn't have to be a big topic, it can be just shades of it, right? So do you place your boundaries in that communication, right? Do you express if something is bothering you, is hurting your feelings, or you're just thinking, oh no, it must be just me, right? Or like, oh no, it's no big deal, I can live with that. And then a couple of months down the road, you just explode because you can't take it anymore, right? This was me in the past, for sure, big time. So yeah, there's so much to unpack there. I love the lunation events, and that's why I'm bringing these readings to you outside of my usual monthly horoscopes. Of course, I do personal readings as well, so you can order those through my website, mindfulbamboo.com, or by contacting me via email, which is in the description box. I also accept donations. Again, there is info below. There's also Amazon wishlist. Especially during holiday time, it's a great way to support me and the channel. Those are mostly tarot and oracle decks that I have in the list, and by getting those from me, you're basically inviting me to use those in the readings, which I always do. I use all of my decks. I don't get a lot of donated decks, I'll be honest with you, but I love using the variety of decks. So today I will use the Wisdom of the Oracle for the oracle message. There will be one card of message, an oracle message for each sign, and then I'll pull 3 cards of tarot. Will be a 3-card read for each sign. If you are in Brooklyn and you're watching this message quickly enough, during the full moon on the December 15th, I'm gonna be a vendor at the holiday market at Daya Yoga Studio in Ridgewood, Brooklyn. So yeah, there's more information on my IG, or you can of course message me to get more info. But I will be doing tarot readings at really good prices. There will be bake sale, there will be other vendors with different crafts, there will be music. It's gonna be a celebration. So please stop by if you are in the area, and of course you can meet me in person, which I'm sure is a dream of yours on some level. All right, so let's see. First of all, I'm gonna pull a card and 3 cards for the collective read. So we have the yin energy here as the oracle card. Very interesting, right? But yin is the energy of the moon, or moon is the energy of the yin, right? So it's like reminding us of how important it is to embrace yin energy at its fullest, right? And maybe you can dedicate this day, or whenever you're consciously approaching the energy of the full moon from the yin perspective, right? What can I observe? How do I feel, right? What do I notice in my energy field? Those kind of nuances that usually aren't necessarily within our attention spectrum. So for the tarot, we have on the nose the moon. I love when that happens. 6 of materials. Lovely. And 5 of materials. Ooh, that's very interesting actually. So this full moon is illuminating how do you move in communication from a place of loneliness and feeling like people don't understand you to the feeling of the healthy flow of energy, giving and receiving. And that, by the way, and I mean, this is a collective reading, so I won't go too deep into any of the concepts, just in the interest of time, and you can of course look up some more info on any of these topics that resonate with you. But I would say that there's a big deal about giving the energy and communication, also receiving it, right? How do you approach that? How do you receive something seemingly heavy and negative? How do you receive loving energy, right? Those are skills as well, if you ask me, especially since in our 3D reality, whether we like it or not, it's within our life and from our childhood, we get certain amount of trauma, of experience certain fears that kind of distort that perception for us, right? So see it the way it resonates for you, but this full moon is a lot about ensuring that there is a flow of information, there is a flow of energy, right? And because we just pulled the yin card, I would just say that, if you need a little additional wink, then think receiving rather than giving, because that's the yin energy. How do we receive the goodness, the blessings, the love that people and universe at large provide to us? All right, so on we go to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, your oracle card is truth be told. So there's some kind of truth that's coming up at this point. This, of course, could be like actual truth that somebody's speaking to you or you're speaking to them. Notice the little heart. So at the surface, this card could feel a little cold and, more kind of a sword energy vibe. But it has all these hearts, which of course reminds us that we're supposed to speak from the place of love, especially if it's an important conversation. And since we're still in Mercury retrograde and the shadow period afterwards, it's very important to be conscious of, what that truth is going to sound like to the other person, and whether we're capable of delivering it with love, even if it's some tough news. It doesn't mean just avoid heavy conversations altogether. No, but any kind of information, even if it's, for sure that it's going to hurt somebody else's feelings, it can still be delivered in a kind way. And then, of course, you can't control the way the other person reacts. You're not responsible for their feelings, right? Then you can follow that mantra for yourself. And we have the moon card again for you, Sagittarius. So you've got the Temperance, the Muse of Materials, and the Moon, 2 major arcanas, and then this is the King of Pentacles, right? So I love the Temperance because I was just talking about the collective message where it's about balancing giving and receiving, right? And this is again about this balance of masculine and feminine, and again can be given and receiving, right? With this Muse of Materials, especially with the seesaw concept that we see here, I would say it could be a bit more materialistic for you, meaning that it's about giving and receiving time, energy, right? Could of course be more like material wise, like you know, money or some kind of resources, right, that you're exchanging. Maybe you're providing one kind of resource, you're getting something else, right? And this is considering how balanced is that exchange. And be very truthful. This is the time, this is what the full moon is supportive of. And plus you have truth be told anyway, right? Looking, facing the music and looking at it in a very honest way, right? Without judgment to yourself or to the other people involved, right? It's like, this is where we are. Acknowledge that, study it, pay attention to it, right? And then you can work with what do I want to do with this? How do I move on from here? Or maybe I'm actually happy with the way that things are progressing, right? And at least you'll get to the point where you consciously accept the things as they are. And that's a really important step in reaching balance, harmony, and all those great things that we just talked about. All right, that was Sagittarius. Now we go to Capricorn. Chaos and conflict, number 33. Yeah, it's very much a Mercury retrograde energy for me, like, you know, out of topics that we just talked about. And I would say that, like, if you read the actual message, the guided message from the book that goes with this deck, it will tell you that, you know, the innovation and the new solutions and progress comes from the place of chaos and conflict, right? Like, that's one of those golden rules that we are aware of. So again, it's all about perspective, right? How you look at it and whether you're able to recognize the possibility of growth in this time of conflict and chaos. And yeah, I can relate if you feel like Mercury retrograde that we've had for the last 3 weeks has brought some chaos and conflict in your life. That's what it is. But guess what? It's there for you, like, to illuminate something to you. What do we have with tarot? We have 8 of Voices, the Emperor, and the Moon again. You see me shuffling. Oh my God. I get the Moon card in every single one of this for every sign. This is a reminder of the Moon, that Moon is really powerful at this time. Yeah, so again, 2 major arcanas, because we also have the Emperor, this and the 8 of Swords. So there is a power struggle here that I see, right? So on the one hand, and in the dynamic where you have chaos and conflict with a person, or maybe even in a situation in general, you want to feel like you have the power and control, but you also feel like hopeless and helpless in a situation, kind of like the usual tools have been taken away from you. And in this new environment of chaos, you're not really sure how to establish the power. Very interesting. So, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself that the reason this is happening, you're put in this situation, is so that you can adopt to a new environment, right? And you can find some new tools, and you could find empowerment in new aspects of your own reality, or maybe even discover some new skills in yourself that will get you that confidence, that will put you in the place of power. But don't look for them on the outside, and also don't wait for somebody to save you. That's the message that I'm getting for you, Capricorn. You are your own savior in this situation, so deal with it. All right, that was Capricorn. Now we are on to Aquarius. So the oracle message for Aquarius is chop wood, number 42. So that may seem a little more on the routine side of things, may not be very exciting to someone with Aquarius energy strong in their chart. But, you know, sometimes you just need to deal with the daily stuff, you know, just need to get it done, right? Don't put it off. Don't feel like it's, you know, you'll delegate it to someone else or it'll just disappear by itself. You know, like when you, for example, when you live with someone and you're like, yeah, well, you know, like, let's just come up with a very simple example, like washing the dishes, right? And the dishes are in the sink, waiting for somebody to wash them. And you're like, oh, maybe I won't do the dishes just yet. Or like, oh, actually, I need to go and do that. You know, and you're finding things to do, something other than the dishes, because you don't want to do that. You're dreading that. You're like, oh, at some point, you know, my partner or whoever you live with, they will do the dishes. That's kind of like that vibe that I'm getting from this. But it's important for you to own up to it and roll up your sleeves and actually do it. And you'll find that something will be illuminated to you in this simple things that maybe you haven't even done for a while. Maybe you're used to just somebody else taking care of it. So in terms of tarot, you have 3 of materials, 2 of materials, and 7 of emotions. Very interesting. So you may be on the brink of making an important decision and you're not sure whether you are supposed to start this partnership or not with whoever it is. Doesn't have to be romantic, can be a friendship, can be a business partnership, right? You're not sure whether this endeavor is actually something to pick up at all at this point in your life because you have so many other things going on, or you have other things pulling on your energy, right? So not necessarily responsibilities, but at least other people or things that are asking for your attention, right? And you're like, okay, so should I proceed with this or should I do this, right? So I just gave you some piece of advice with that chopped wood. You know, go into the details, like get on with some of the things that seem routine, but this is the level of detail that will ground you and that will help you understand what is the next step. So you don't have to be juggling. You don't have to be trying to do it all somehow because it all seems lucrative, or, you know, you don't want to lose the opportunity. But deep down, you realize that you won't be able to pull it off for much longer. You'll have to give something up, right? And then your subconscious is trying to tell you, like, you need to make a choice here. You need to choose something because you can't do 10 things at the same time and the same quality, with the quality that you want to do them. Right? There you go. Okay, next one, Pisces. Your card is poised. Oh, I love this. This is like the beautiful ballerina pose and the poise, right? This is like, it's feeling pretty, but also it's about self-love to me. You know, it's about respecting, accepting, and loving you the way you are, like finding beauty in where you are right now, in who you are and what you look like and what you do in your life, you know, any and every aspect of it. Especially showing love to areas of yourself where you don't have enough self-love, or you have insecurities, or you're criticizing yourself. And we'll do it. I'm not saying that, you know, any of us is perfect in that way, but this is the recipe for success at this time. What do we have for Pisces from tarot? We have the Awakening, which is the Judgment card. We have Page of Materials, and we have the Chariot. So many major arcanas in this reading for every sign. It's incredible. 2 major arcanas for you as well, Pisces. So you have the Awakening process that, again, is showing you what really, and I like that Page of Materials, it kind of like almost looks like she's looking at these roses, right? There's a Chariot too. There's a desire to move forward quickly. There's a push almost like for you to expand yourself, right? And show up, shine your light to the world, right? But I would say it's good to have this as a motivation on the kind of like the back of your head, right? But don't dive too deep into this energy. This is the energy to be in. Continue recognizing new information, continue acknowledging the beauty of the world and how much you have to give, right? Within your own right. Not by focusing on external goals, but on focusing, who am I? What am I? What do I want to do? You know, what gives me joy? Where is my passion? All of those things. Awakening within yourself and about yourself. Beautiful, I love that. All right, so next we go to Aries. Aries, your oracle message is between worlds, number 3. Have you been feeling like you're between worlds, Aries? Right? A lot of us have. I mean, seriously, especially in the Scorpio season, right? And I feel like this month we're really getting clarity on what is this new world gonna be like for us. You could also be feeling that because it's end of the year. For a lot of people, it's like end of a certain cycle in terms of their business, their work, you know, and it's like this there's like this hibernation period for the holidays, and then the January kicks in, and then it's like go, 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 go again. But maybe this is like you trying to figure out, or maybe even being a little anxious about what this new world is gonna be like. What do we have for Aries? This tarot. We have Ace of Materials, Hand Muse, and Six of Materials. Wow, beautiful cards. And I feel like you're definitely stepping into the place of fulfillment and success in whatever the new projects are gonna be happening for you. But you just need to get a little more perspective, especially if you feel anxious, especially if you feel insecure on where you are or the lack of clarity in this moment, right? See it as an opportunity. See it as an opportunity to bring more creativity, to bring more something artistic into your work. Like, look at this Hand Muse. Like, she's definitely doing some acrobatic stunts, right? Like, is this person struggling? I don't think so. All right, sometimes handman can be interpreted in that way, but not in this deck, not this person, no. Right? So you got kind of like the rug just pulled out like from under your feet, right? And it's unsettling, of course. You don't know what's next, but it's also a golden opportunity to redefine what's next. Make it yours. What does your success look like? What are your business goals? You know, maybe even starting up something on your own, just by yourself, right? But whatever it is, the success is gonna be yours as long as you stay authentic to self, as long as you do a little bit of that homework to define what, you know, what is relevant for you right now. What is it that you want to do next? Okay, next we go to Taurus. Taurus, your oracle message is to be fair, number 38. This is the equivalent of a justice card in this oracle deck, right? So, you know, this can be, of course, interpreted in many different ways. And again, we're working with the air element, right? But I feel like in this case, it means that things are becoming fair, you know, like that big karmic rebalancing is happening, right? So if you put a lot of hard work into something and you saw little to no payout, like that payout is coming your way, you know, that blessing is coming your way. If you felt like somebody took advantage of you, like that person is gonna get that, you know, not the punishment, but really pay the price, let's put it that way. So whatever they've taken from you will be taken from them, for example, right? Or at least they will recognize how much pain they've actually caused on your part that maybe they didn't realize. That happens too, you know? Whatever this is, of course, it will work the other way around as well. So this is also the Four of Inspiration just fell out. This is also your opportunity to do more around forgiveness, I would say. If you're looking to do your part in this rebalance, you're like, okay, that sounds great. How can I help in this situation? Or like maybe there is some kind of remorse that I'm feeling for what I've done. Forgiveness, there's Ho'oponopono meditation that you can do, or affirmation rather. You can search it, it's very simple. And if you do it every day, like, you know, do it repetitively, like don't just say it once, but like, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 times, and do it every day for a month. That will be a great relief and release in this way. Let's see what we have for Taurus. We see the Empress, your card, Queen of Voices, and Muse of Inspiration. Wow, again, there is the Sword of Energy and the Queen. It's all about the truth. That's about seeing things as they are, honestly, truthfully, without any speculation or trying just to make things look cute and nice, right? This is like raw information. Give it to me the way it is, right? The Empress is your card, and it's such a beautiful card in this deck. Look at it, right? Look at all the planets here, all the possibilities, almost then the sun. It's got this, you know, universal power. This is you embracing your power, Taurus, and this is for you to see yourself this way. See what role do you play in the whole universe, you know, in the whole global community, right? What you do has something to do with that, right? And going back to the truth, and we also have the Muse of Inspiration, which is the King of Wands in the regular deck. But here I love the fire. I like the also like the mirror kind of reflection. There's even a full moon at the back, if you can see that. So obviously it is about inspiration, but more than, and Muse of Inspiration sounds a little funny, right? It's kind of like tautology, but that's what the wands are in this deck. What I was trying to say is that you see kind of like you're able to zoom out and see from the distance what inspires you, what makes you tick in any aspect of your life. And of course it could be different for different people. Take it how it resonates for you. This is a collective reading, right? So you'll be able to like almost like be your own best friend who can definitely see better from the distance, right? And point it out to you like, oh, you're really good at this. So you're like, you enjoy this so much, it's ridiculous, but you enjoy it, right? So you'll be able to see this, and if necessary, do this exercise for yourself. When do you light up, or what kind of comments do you hear from your friends? So like, oh, this is definitely yours, like this is something that's like your element, you know. Even if it's not serious, even if it's just something playful, like a hobby, like I don't know, just whatever, pastime activity, right? Or something that you do once in 5 years. Doesn't matter. Collect that information and gather it to acknowledge the power that you have and the gifts that you have, right? And that will help you kind of map out what that next adventure is going to be, what that road of inspiration is for you at this time, Taurus. Because the universe is giving you the inspiration, right? It's inspiring you to move forward with something beautiful and to embrace your energy at its highest, at its best. The question is, are you open to it, and are you ready to take action towards it? Okay, that was Taurus. Now we go to Gemini. So the oracle message for Gemini is Yang. All right, interesting. So Gemini, it's your go time. I guess, I mean, this is full moon in your sign. So for you, if anything, it's like, okay, we've been cleansing things, we've been healing things. Now it's time to go and do stuff, to take action. What do we have for make things happen, right? Don't wait for things to happen, make things happen. That's what I'm hearing for the Gemini. You have the World, Cosmos, the Magician, and Seven, and again 2 major arcana. What is it with all these major arcana? Seriously, oof, this is powerful. And look at it, it's the World and the Magician. So this is like the last card and the first card. Well, the first card technically is the Fool, just number 0. This is number 1. This is 1 and 21, right? And we have 7 of Inspiration here. So this is, and I love 7 of Inspiration in this deck. It's like creating your own frame of reference, right? Like expanding the boundaries or the limitations that the world has put on you. You're ending cycles around understanding your place in this universe, understanding like your it could be your life purpose, or the way you are in relationships, and what is the purpose of those relationships in your life, right? Like you're closing out the old vision and you are stepping in the energy of creating the new vision that is yours, creating the vision that like you are molding it, you know, you are the source of the new vision. Yeah, I mean, it has some fire here as well, and also lots of planets, right? You don't have to subscribe to somebody else's view or opinion. Make those choices yourself, even if you feel somewhat insecure because it could be different from other people in your life, right? It doesn't mean that they won't necessarily harmonize, but it's really important that you're not subscribing to what the other person wants to do in a relationship or how they want to communicate just because that's what they do and you don't want to lose them. No, you're supposed to create your own kind of kingdom, you know, your own palace of happiness, right? And then invite people, right? And there's a good chance that you'll find that place where both of you can connect, and you know, they share what works for them, you share what works for you, right? That's the Gemini concept that I was talking about at the beginning, and that's your taking action, right? Be more proactive in communicating what works for you and what doesn't work for you, so that the other person can meet you in the middle and not you walking too far into their place and jeopardizing your own truth and your own happiness. Okay, that was Gemini. Now we are off to Cancer. Cancer, your oracle message is community, number 8. Ooh, I love this. Yes, so it's time for you to call into your community, whatever that is. It could be your family, it could be your team at your work, it could be like community around your hobby and pastimes. Of course, it could be a larger organization. Depends on how you want to utilize this community, you know? It can be virtual, it can be physical. If you don't feel like you have a community, then this is your calling to find community. Find people who resonate with you, people who would be on the same page, who would be passionate about the same things, and who would be in your corner, especially when things get difficult. What do we have for Cancer from Tarot? Page of Emotions, 10 of Materials, beautiful, and 4 of Emotions in reverse. So what will I tell you, Cancer, about this? It's time for you to show vulnerability. It's time for you to learn what it means. So it's not just like, it doesn't look like just sitting melancholically in the corner and like sharing your thoughts, right? Like how difficult life has been, or you know, maybe lack of hope in a specific situation, or maybe some kind of unfairness that happened to you, right? It's not really that, but it's being able to share the true you, right? And again, I was talking about it at the beginning in the intro. Mercury retrograde could really get us to be in our reactive self, in our emotional self, when we're almost like imposing, we're like pouring our emotional reaction on the other person, and they don't understand, and then they have their emotions and those clash. And that's like that quintessential concept of misunderstandings in communication during Mercury retrograde, when people feel like they speak different languages. Like, it seems so simple, but it gets so difficult in an actual conversation. So this is for you to learn how to share vulnerability without imposing some kind of pressure or tension on the other person, even if it actually has something to do with them. You know, own up to your feelings, to your reaction, right? And you can deliver any kind of message with kindness. Trust me, it's possible. Maybe you need to do a little bit of preparation, but it's going to be such a successful endeavor. And of course, it doesn't have to be just in a romantic relationship. It can be in friendship, you know, maybe with your family members, maybe even at work, maybe with your boss, that you're finally ready to say, like, you know, I'm fed up with this. Like, you're not making me feel like I'm part of the team, like I'm part of the company, right? Why not? But you can make it sound like you're really mad and you want to leave, or like, you know, unless you do, I will leave. And that will sound bad, like an ultimatum. That will really sound like you're not really a team player, right? Or you can present it in a way that will actually encourage your boss to revisit how they acknowledge your contribution, you know, how they notice you, the projects that they give you, and have that extra reflection of how it might actually resonate for you, what it looks like, right? Maybe they don't even think about it. Like, yeah, I'm just getting on with my actions of the day, whatever, my to-do list. And I don't really feel like that, you know, Cancer gets offended just because they get this kind of assignment. So just because I don't say, thank you, great job, every time they finish that task or something like that, you know, like they may not know what it feels like for you. So it's really important to share that vulnerability. And the 10 of Pentacles is like this abundance, that this great harvest that you will get at the end. It could be, of course, in a material sense, like money or some kind of resources, but more importantly, it will bring peace and satisfaction to you on a much deeper level, which is more important than some people realize. Okay, next on we have Leo. Deep knowing, and look at that, there's another moon. There are actually 2 planets here. Yeah, deep knowing is part of the moon energy. Actually, it's about yin, it's about intuition, it's about high priestess vibe of like, you know, all the answers are within. And so often we'll look on the outside to get clarity, to get information, to get validation, to get love, where it's all actually within us. So if anything, I would be asking a question. If you have that connection with your higher power, if you, in your prayers, in your meditation, you can ask questions on how do I access the deep knowing, or what am I supposed to know at this time, right? What do we have for Leo? 7 of inspiration, 10 of emotions, lovely, and 9 of emotions. Okay, it's a little different here. But what I'm getting for you, Leo, is that happiness and joy can mean so different, can have many different shades and can look very, very different for different people, and that's okay. And if you feel like somehow, especially if you are in a long-term partnership with someone, you feel like somehow it's supposed to to correlate with the image of that happiness of your partner, that's not true, right? And this is where the 7 of Wands comes in play, right? That you don't have to just follow somebody else's template for what happiness is like, for what fulfills you, for what moves you, right? What's really inspiring for you. And this is like a deeper emotional inspiration. It's kind of different, but it is still connected to that space of hearts, to your soul space, to your higher power, right? Like, how do you access that? You need to find that answer for yourself, right? To make your wishes come true, not the wishes of the society or the wishes of, I don't know, your kids or your partner or your team at work, right? It's like expanding your own boundaries in a good way, you know? Where it's like, you know where you are now, but this is like, where do you want to be? What really gets you into the 10 of Cups happiness, the deepest level, the most that you can even handle on this, in this physical plane, right? What does it look like? You already have the knowledge. It's about accessing it. It's about also accepting that, and maybe something that other people around you will not understand or will not appreciate or not like, and still going for it and still feeling like this is something deserving in your life, and you're deserving of all of this, right? So it's good enough, even if it's not, it doesn't sound that great to somebody else around you. Okay, we move on to Virgo. Virgo, your oracle message is a change in the wind, number 12. Yeah, Virgos aren't necessarily good with change in the wind, but although you are not a fixed sign, you're kind of like, you're good at change, but not, like, to me, change in the wind is almost like the tower moment. Like, it's a complete change of direction. And Virgo may not be good with dealing with like a swift shift somewhere else. Like, I already had everything lined up here. I already created a roadmap. I had my daily routine lined up to that direction. And now it's like, whew, that direction is not even available anymore. That's it. It's like, it's been flooded. You can use that road anymore, you know? What do we have for Virgo? 2 of materials, 7 of materials, and Ace of materials. Very much the earth energy that the Virgo is. So this is kind of your lane, pun unintended, but we do actually have lanes in this card, right? But this is about finding the road, the direction that gives you the best outcome, right? And it may seem a little transactional, but this is what it is. It doesn't have to be money, of course. Maybe the outcome that you're looking for is, you know, public recognition, or, you know, like just public acknowledgement of, you know, your gifts of who you are, or them knowing what you've been up to, right? Like it again, it needs to be defined on your end. But this may throw you off just because it will shift the priorities, or it will tell you there's enough of juggling 5 things at the same time, right? You don't really need to do that. You need to focus on the road that gives you the best outcome, right? Where you understand that the payoff is going to be the biggest, right? So whether it's something financial, or it's something that will give you, I don't know, more health or more resources or more recognition, more feedback, whatever it is, all right? Like, this is the time to choose that lane and follow it and commit to it. And don't be afraid to realize one day that it's going to be a very different direction than what you had in mind before. Okay, those were Virgos. Now we're going to go to Libra. Try not to forget any of the signs. Like, seems like I'm on track. And then there will be Scorpio, of course. So Libra, you have by the book number 11. So very interesting, because 11 is actually in Aries the card of justice, which corresponds to Libra. It's an interesting twist on it, of course, because the card by the book is all about following the rules, following the tradition, you know, kind of like complying with what's been set before you, right? Or even by you, but like in the past, right? This is like just following the script without veering from it. It's out of respect, out of reverence. It's that kind of concept. So if it feels tough, think about the purpose. Like, why are those rules in there in the first place? And this will ease the past. That's what I'm getting for you. What do we have from Tarot? Wow, 4 of Inspiration. Something exciting is coming your way. Page of Materials. And the World of the Cosmos. So, yeah, this change will definitely rock your world, I'm hearing. Like, some kind of new opportunities coming in. And it will require a certain effort from you. Although you may feel like you don't really have a lot to offer from whatever that new world of yours is, right? But know that you'll have a trusted partner or partners to do it with you, right? It may happen that the sequence of events will be like you'll need to commit first and then the partner will come along. And this could be a partner in personal life. It also can be a partnership in business endeavors, in your hobbies as well. Like anything that's stable and long-term. Something beautiful is coming in here, right? But you need to know that to make that choice and to start making effort. So for example, if this feels like it could be a relationship, right? Then you need to start visualizing yourself and what that world would look like in a happy, long-lasting relationship. And try to even dissociate from a specific person, right? And what is your part in it? What is your responsibility? What can you contribute to get to there, or to educate yourself in some way? I don't know, maybe part of that image, I'm just giving an example, is that you'll be making breakfasts for yourself and your partner. Like, having breakfast together is a big deal, right? But you understand it will imply you making those breakfast at least once in a while, if not every day, you know, at least sometimes. It's like, oh, actually, like in my current life, I don't really have breakfast, or I don't really usually do much, right? So maybe you'll look up some ideas. You'll get new skills on where you can be in that energy, with that knowledge, where you can make breakfast for yourself and your person, and you can then embody that picture that you have in mind, right? So almost like for some people, it may be useful to actually draw the picture, right? And then see what is the gap between current you and the picture, and how can you move closer on your, like, in your own right, you know, within your own power, not thinking about the other person and reaching out towards them, but staying in your lane, doing your thing, right? Having the vision in mind. All right, that was Libra. Now Scorpio, last but not least. A leg up, number 34. So someone is ready to give you a leg up if you let them, if you ask them, you know? Like in the good book, they say ask for help. You're supposed to word it out, right? This could have been a challenge for you during Mercury retrograde because of this power of like that sometimes can, you know, be a tongue twister really for us. Even if we deep down we want to communicate, but we may not feel empowered to actually do that, right? So this is your sign that, you know, don't feel like people don't get you or they don't want to help you. They want to help you, but you're supposed to communicate that. If you feel like you need help from your higher power, then that, or your guides, that could also be communicated. Actually, it's very important to communicate. What do we have for Scorpio from Tarot? The Moon, again, kind of the obvious, but I guess we needed it. 3 of Emotions and 8 of Inspiration. So this is 8 of Wands in this deck. And this is all about making progress, like regardless of the obstacles, regardless of what, if you seem like you don't have what it takes, or it's just gonna be too expensive or take too long, or whatever that self-talk is, right? It's about recognizing it. The full moon is illuminating it to you, where that limiting belief is, right? And it doesn't mean just kind of like push through it the whole time. If you feel like you're really kind of like moving against, like upstream, then work with it, with this energy. Look at it, see how you can bring more happiness and joy in the process. 3 of Cups here is reminding you that you need to have fun with it, right? Don't be as serious, and don't, like, you know, sometimes this looks like a slingshot. Like, instead of like just pulling the slingshot and making it harder and harder to move potentially with time, see how you can maybe jump out of it, right? Like, there could be creative ways of working with that energy, especially if you feel like you can't get rid of it, right? You could be collaborating and you could be using that pull, you know, to for some kind of momentum, for some kind of accelerated move forward. So play with it, see what brings you joy, really dive deeper into how you feel about this current endeavor, whether it's a relationship, a business project where you feel like things are unnecessarily difficult, right? And remember that you can always ask for help, and there's somebody there that wants to help you. All right, that was Scorpio. This was the last sign out of 12. I hope you enjoy these messages around the full moon, and of course, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I do horoscopes on the monthly basis, and I also do special reading for special events like lunation events, like winter solstice will have one, so on and so forth. So follow me, contact me for further collaboration with tarot, with coaching, with astrology, and until next time.